Okay, this is your Unit 0 review video. I know you're very excited for this very challenging unit. Maybe. I don't know. For some, who knows? So there's 4 standards on this. The first one is syllabus stuff. So essentially that's the big goal. Make sure you know what that is. Think B or better. There's some other components to it as well though. So make sure you know what the big goal is. And make sure you know the motto. Right? So the motto, you know, that thing that I've said like a billion times. It is all about the learning. Make sure you understand what that really means. So when we're in the classroom, whenever you make a decision, whenever you're doing something, it should be for the purpose of helping your learning and helping the learning of your comrades. Like this is Soviet Russia or something, I don't know, comrade. Okay, the second standard is safety. So there's some very, obvious things. You always need to wear your safety goggles. Let's get some eyeballs there. Draw a head. One tooth. I guess they didn't wear a mouth guard. Very lopsided head. Maybe he got like hit here too. Anyway, you should have already passed the safety quiz with 100%. So this should be a no-brainer. But review the safety notes we took. Review the copy of the safety contract that you have. Remember some really obvious things. Okay? Protective gear. Always have protective gear. So that means goggles, but it could also mean closed-toed shoes, tying your hair back, etc. The instructor is king. That's me. Remember that. So if you're ever confused about something, you ask the instructor. If there's ever a hazard, you tell the instructor. If you ever have money that you want to give away, you give it to the instructor. That's not really a safety thing, but still. What else? What other guiding principles are there? I don't know, just a lot of common sense. If something's on fire, don't add more fuel to it. I mean, duh. Okay, so review your notes, review your contract for this one. Math basics. Okay, so let's think about what mathy things did we go over? Well, we did some long division. Whoop. That's the one that trips most people up, so that's what I would recommend reviewing. We did multiplication with decimals. We did multiplying and dividing with powers of 10. Remember that inquiry activity? We didn't really talk about reducing fractions, but there's a list of fractions that you should memorize. So, memorize them. They should already be memorized. If they're not memorized yet, adopt a growth mindset and get it done. Have we talked about growth mindset yet? Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Alright. So, I'm not going to go over any of these as part of this video. However, I have scoured the YouTube and I've found a pretty good example of long division that you can click this link over here for. I found an example of multiplication with decimals that you can click the link over here for. And I found an example of multiplying and dividing with the powers of 10 if you need that. For the fractions, I really just want you to memorize that table that's in your notes, so you don't need a video for that. Scientific method. Okay, so this was from your notes, remember? There's different steps of the scientific method. It starts with a question and some research. Sometimes we drop the research from the figures. It just depends. In class, we might just dive right into it, but if you're in an actual college setting, or if you're a scientist as a job, you always do research first. You make your hypothesis. Remember, this is an educated guess. Educated guess. It's educated because you did some research right here. Then you do your test or experiment. So this is the testing part or the experiment. You get your data or your results. You draw a conclusion. Sometimes we call these two different steps, analyzing the data and actually drawing the conclusion. If your hypothesis is wrong, you go again. If it's true, you share your data. Well, either way, actually, you share your data with your comrades in Soviet Russia. Okay, so things that you really need to know here. You need to know the steps of the scientific method. You also need to know how to identify them and the order. So if I say, what comes after testing your hypothesis? Well, that's saying what comes after the experiment, so you would say, oh, the conclusion comes after. Ta-da! Right there. No, wait, that's not right. I see, I made a very common mistake that all of you would make. Because really, we call these two different things. So the data comes after testing, and then you draw your conclusion. But if you don't analyze your data first, you can't really make a decision about whether your hypothesis was right or wrong. Alright, so hopefully that was enough to get you started on your review. Make sure you rock this first celebration of knowledge. You're all going to do great. You're beautiful, beautiful people.